Hello and welcome to the Boys Upstairs Show. This is the Week 1 NFL show.
Woo!
It's the start of a new season. Thank you all for joining us. So we're going to get started here. Game 1 on the slate. Dolphins at Chargers. Chargers are -3. It's in Los Angeles. Total is 50.5. It's game 1, week 1. We're going to go ahead and give it to Sam.
Honored to be back here on the Boys Upstairs show for my third NFL season. Two high-powered offenses here, really going at it. I mean, you've got it should be kind of a revenge year, say, from Tua. Can he really show that he is a QB1 in this league and that he can really do what it takes to take his team to the next level? Or is he just going to still be the Tua that he always was? We are going to see. And then you've got Justin Herbert, who I have always thought was overrated, and I still kind of do. That being said, this game screams under to me. I mean, 50 points week 1 is kind of ridiculous. Teams are still feeling out their offenses and stuff. And a 50-point total in general, I never like those. And I know the books and a lot of people, the public, is really thinking that the offenses are going to take this one over. I know Miami's missing Jalen Ramsey, but hey, the Chargers still have a decent defense. And I think the first game jitters are going to be there a little bit. But I'm also going to go with the Dolphins here. I think they're going to make some plays. I like what they've done in the offseason. I think they've got a good offense. Dolphins +3 and under 50.5, I think it is.
The Chargers' Achilles heel forever has been health. Listen, it's week 1. Everybody's healthy. I think they're going to be on fire. Justin Herbert is now the highest paid NFL player in the history of the league. He has a lot to prove, and that means he has to beat Tua Tagovailoa or Loa, however you pronounce his last name. Forgive me for I love the Samoan people. It's just hard to pronounce their names. Having said that, remember how Justin Herbert and Tua will always be kind of paired together because Justin Herbert went 6th and Tua went one spot above him, 5th. Whenever they play each other, there's always a little chip on Justin Herbert's shoulder. He wants to prove that he is better, and I think that he is going to play well, and I like the Chargers to cover -3.
Second year back. Excited to be back with you boys. Excited for a great season. Chargers here -3. I think Justin Herbert this year, he has something to prove. Like Sam said, a lot of people actually share Sam's opinion of him being, kind of overrated, pushed by the media. I think I saw something today on Twitter or Instagram where they had him the 5th ranked quarterback. It had guys like Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, you know what I mean? And those are guys that have, been to the Super Bowl and won MVP. So in order for Herbert to be up in that upper echelon of quarterbacks, I feel like he has to have a big year this year. I'm going to take the Chargers, and I'm also going to take the over as well.
Big thank you to Tommy and the rest of the Boys Upstairs. Welcome me with very open arms to be a part of the gang for this season. My first one, I like the Chargers. Kellen Moore's coming in for his first season as an OC here in Los Angeles. And while Dak Prescott is literally an interception machine, I'm thinking that I think he has something not to prove, but he's a master with open space. Give it to someone who's not going to be throwing interceptions left and right. Obviously, ditching Dak here. I like I think that's going to be a good fit. And I think that's also going to, so I like the Chargers here. I like -3. And I also like the over just because I think it's going to be kind of Kellen Moore's first chance to really prove himself. I'm excited to see both these quarterbacks duel off. Obviously, they both kind of have a fire under their ass after last season. I think they're both better than 9-8 and 10-7, but that's my take there.
Excited to start a second season, so thank you to Boys Upstairs. Like how Sam said, week 1, everything's shaky. What you see week 1 from a team is not what you're going to be getting by week 8. It's not what you're going to be getting week 15. But these are two pretty proven offenses with shaky defenses. So if anything, I feel like the defenses are going to take a little longer to adjust. Vic Fangio, I think, is the new defensive coordinator for the Dolphins, so that they're going to have to get used to that for a second. And you don't always have time to get used to things during the Chargers. But I feel like the offenses will put it together a little quicker. So I got the Chargers -3, and I got the over. I think, like I said, both defenses might be a little shaky week 1 for two of the league's most high-powered offenses. So I'm thinking over, even though it is a high total. I like the over. The Dolphins' offense isn't going to be the same as it was last year, so I'm taking Chargers -3 and the over.
I'm taking Chargers. Chargers -3. when you have a team like the Los Angeles Chargers versus a team like the Miami Dolphins. In week one, there's going to be shaking a little bit of the rust off, just having that both those offenses go up against each other. And I'm excited to kind of watch that game. I'll have Red Zone on, obviously, and there's probably going to be a lot of points scored, a lot of fireworks. So I'm taking the over in that game as well.
I'll slide in right there. I think that the Chargers are going to win this game. They're going to win this game by more than 3 points. I'm not a believer in the Miami Dolphins. I know that the Dolphins fans aren't here to defend themselves, but that was their decision. I think, these are two hungry teams coming.
Forgot about that.
I think these are two hungry teams coming to this week one game. So I expect points to be scored. I'm going to go over. Defenses aren't really ready, I think, for the hungriness of these two offenses. And the Chargers have all their guys back healthy, and they may never be as healthy as they are this game. So I like the over here, and I like the Chargers. So those are my picks. Game 2, we got the Bills and the Jets. Bills are -2, 2.5. Games in New York, New Jersey. Totals 46.5. This is Aaron Rodgers' first game on the Jets in New York, and they're home dogs.
I think when we did the show about standings and how we were going to predict the playoffs, Tommy had the Jets around 12 wins, something like that, 12 or 11. I don't think they're going to be that good. However, I do like them to start fast and beat the Bills on Monday night, Aaron Rodgers' first game. Can't wait to watch. As hyped as this team has been, I honestly don't know an NFL team that has been more hyped, a team that hasn't really accomplished anything, but they're talked about so much. The tabloids, the New York papers are getting ready to flame them if they lose. So 4 letters I've never said in the history of this show: JETS, 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 +2.5 on Monday night.
Jets, Jets, Jets.
Jets, Jets, Jets.
It's possible we have seen the Bills ceiling, and I'm gonna say that they're a fun to watch, highlight level quarterback who makes some mistakes against a top tier defense. So I'm thinking the Jets get it, but I do think it's going to be the over because, if the 2 games, 2012, 2017, those are like 32, 37, the total somewhere in the 40s, I believe. I think Aaron Rodgers, regardless to what, if it's great or not that great, I think you can say Aaron Rodgers brings at least a touchdown or so to your team's offense. If you're averaging 15 points a game, it's safe to say you might average a touchdown more, 21, 22, with a recent 2-time MVP, or I think he's 3 overall, but 2 back-to-back MVP, Aaron Rodgers. So I'm going to take the over. I mean, it's like 42.5 or something around there, if I'm right. And
I just 46.
46. So
Nah.
I feel like you add an extra touchdown for the Jets, and I feel like boosted play on one side means boosted play on the other side. That's going to put more pressure on the Bills. They might not be as conservative as they were against the team that last year. You're like, all right, if we can score on them, like the Jets aren't putting up any points on us, but it might be different this year. So I feel like they might be more in attack mode. The Jets are going to be the best offense they've had in the last 10 years, probably. So I'm going to take the over, and I'm going to take the Jets to win in week 1 in a crazy Monday night game.
I'm going to follow you there, Kobe, because I am actually taking both of the opposite picks from you. So I want to start with Aaron Rodgers here, and that the Jets basically pulled like a Colorado LSU football kind of move where they just brought in almost an entire new team. And it's like Aaron Rodgers is your like new program director or whatever. But people have to, and I am a known Aaron Rodgers hater, Bears fan for life, so like you can take this with a grain of salt. But people have to understand that this isn't like some highly touted quarterback who didn't get his 5th-year option picked up and is getting a fresh start somewhere else. Aaron Rodgers is like 38 years old. Like he's an old man. And last year he showed some signs of like deep regression. So I think there's a lot of hype going around. I mean, yeah, it's a cool story how he switches teams for the first time ever and brings a bunch of guys with him. The Jets are like going all in or whatever they want to call it. But you got to remember, you got to take it for what it is, in that Aaron Rodgers is not a young gun anymore, and his prime is past him. So, and then you're putting that team against, and don't get me wrong, Jets defense looks great, and they've got some weapons. Garrett Wilson's unbelievable. You've got Sauce on the D, among many others. But you put that against the Bills, who have a pretty established team, and Kobe said he thinks that they could have hit their ceiling. I think it's this year, maybe next year, or bust for them, because there's only so many times you can keep going on with the same old shit, with having good offensive games and having fun and making the playoffs and then choking, because that's what the Bills have been doing. And they need to do so. They need to show people that they're actually for real. So I am going to go with the Bills here. I'm going to go with them -2.5. I think that's an easy one. And then I'm also going to go with the under, because as Kobe has said and pointed out, which is what I agree with him on, is that the Bills offense has a tendency to make mistakes against good defenses. They showed that last year. I think they beat the Chiefs. They did in a low scoring battle kind of, and then they lost to the Bengals in the playoffs, which was just an atrocious showing of football on all phases. I mean, that was horrible. But yeah, I think it's going to be a tightly played game. Not both teams, both the Jets have something new going on, like really new. So I think there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve there. I don't think we're going to see much of a slugfest. I think it could be a nice ground and pound, tough gridiron football game. But yeah, I'm going to go with Bills and the under here. So because I think the Bills, this is it for them. They've got to show it. It's put up or shut up time for them.
All right, I'm not going to touch the total, but I disagree with what Sam said. I think that Aaron Rodgers is not like what you think of when you're saying a 38-year-old going to a team like at the end of his career like that. It's literally like all as close to Peyton Manning going to the Broncos as it could be. I'm pretty sure Peyton Manning was 37 and 38 that time, and he won the Super Bowl when he was 39. So that could be Aaron Rodgers with the Jets. They have a very I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl, but they have a team that could. I think that their defense is a Super Bowl type defense. It was really good last year. It's going to be really good this year. The Broncos defense with Peyton Manning was really good. It carried them. And he has a lot of weapons. And he has Dalvin Cook now, Breece Hall. I think they're going to be really good. So I'm taking the Jets here. I'm not going to touch the total. It's week 1, so we don't know. It's all hype. It's all faith, but I'm believing in the Jets. So.
Real quick, Tommy, you say that you pointed out the Peyton Manning to the Broncos, but you also didn't point out Russell Wilson to the Broncos.
I mean, it's not going to work.
I'm not saying Russell Wilson is.
Yeah, no, it's not going to work every single time. But when Russ went to the Broncos, I just think that at the time I didn't believe in him as much as I believe in Aaron Rodgers. Like the hype that I have for Aaron Rodgers with the Jets is not it was way more than I had with Russ. So.
They did bring Hackett back too as an OC, right?
Yeah, and Rodgers loves Hackett. He was
he's his boy.
Don't keep my name or coach's name. I shouldn't.
Keep my coach's name.
And Rodgers' situation is similar to Brady's too. I mean, listen, I'm Brady advocate number 1, so I definitely think Brady's a way greater quarterback. But old quarterback, first year in a new team, great defense, got some weapons. But I see the Russell Wilson point too. But it can work. He's a lot closer to Brady than he is Russell Wilson, I would say.
Like Tommy. And I think Kobe as well. I'm also someone that's on the kind of Jets bandwagon. I think that they're going to be a really good football team. They have a solid roster on offense and defense. And I think they're a team that were last year, they were a quarterback away and they got their quarterback. Going up against the Bills, who, like Kobe said, is a team that we've seen have, high highs and really low lows, especially in the playoffs and then bigger games against better teams. I think we're going to see the experience kind of the Jets where, their defense is really young, but their offense is full of really veteran guys, Randall Cobb, guys like Lazar who've been playing with Rodgers for some time now. So he already has a connection with them apparently in camp. And, we saw in the preseason, the one drive that Aaron Rodgers had, he ended up throwing a touchdown to Wilson, who I think is going to have a breakout year this year, especially with Rodgers as his quarterback. So I'm really, a believer in the Jets. I think they're going to really make some noise this year. I think they're going to get in the playoffs, and they're going to be a hard team to beat, especially with that defense. That secondary is super elite. They have really good guys on the front seven. They're going to be one of the best defenses in the NFL, and you have Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback. It's really hard to go against that.
I think honestly part of maybe the Jets story this year is going to be coming off of this kind of week 1 where they have all the hype. Josh Allen is Josh Allen. The Bills defense is serviceable. Josh Allen's 2-0 starting off the season against the Jets. I think he's going to make that 3-0 this weekend. So I'm
going crazy here and I'm taking Jets plus 2.5.
Yeah.
Adding to my card, also adding Jets money line because a home dog, one, I love nothing more than to wager on a home dog. And number 2, I went to the Jets preseason game and I watched Hard Knocks. I'm very, very high on the Jets, just like everybody is. If you need a dark horse for the Super Bowl, a lot of people already have them for their dark horse. So I don't know how dark of a horse that truly is. I think the New York Football Jets are truly going to come of age this season. They might not even win their division, but good for them. They love a little adversity. I'm taking Jets money line and obviously Jets plus the points.
It's time for the best part of the show. This is our first locks of the week, of the season, of the year.
I think this should be everyone's lock. If you know what I'm saying. Jags -5. They're playing the Colts. Don't have their running back. ARs look pretty shaky in the preseason. The Jags defense is, really good, especially in the secondary. He might throw some picks. I think it might get ugly. So I'm taking Jags -5 there. That I think that's pretty much a guarantee.
Spicy take here. I like the Giants +3.5 over the Cowboys.
I like that one too.
Yeah. I think that's going to be a good
I
one.
third that. That's a good one.
Yeah. Obviously I have my feelings about the Giants, but they are also a team that's kind of been in the shadows this offseason that have made really steady adjustments and what they went from. I think they added 5 wins to whatever they had 2 seasons ago last season. Trajectory's looking good. Defenses can be a little bit, their defense is shaky, but I think their offense can be explosive, really explosive. They're in New York. I like them in this. I like Giants at +3.5.
I'll hop in. So if we're talking about +3.5, I'm also taking a +3.5 spread for my lock, but it is the Panthers +3.5 over the Falcons. I'm not sure how this is a spread. Yes, Bryce Young, first-year quarterback, but how much more confident are we in Desmond Ridder than Bryce Young? Even if we haven't seen anything from Bryce Young, I'm sure if I were to go around the room and say who we're more confident in, I feel like more people would say Bryce Young, even though he hasn't played a snap yet. They have Jeremy Chin at safety, JC Horn's getting better, Brian Burns. They have a good defense. And I just feel like after we saw from what we saw from Atlanta last year and what we saw from Desmond Ridder, I mean, not to say he can't make a jump, but I wouldn't want the Falcons to be favored in any game. For them to be favored week 1, I get Bryce Young's first game of his career, but I feel like the Panthers +3.5, I feel like they're going to win. And if they lose, I doubt it's more than a field goal. So Panthers +3.5 is my lock.
With all due respect, Kobe, I can't envision myself nor the viewers of this show spending their week 1 NFL slate betting on the Carolina Panthers. So if that ends up being your lock and any of these, millions of viewers that we have decide to ride with you, and on the off chance it hits, Godspeed to you. I just won't be joining you in that endeavor. However, the Vikings -6.5 against the Arizona Cardinals. That's got to be it's got to be a joke line.
They're playing the Bucks.
What did I say?
The Cardinals.
That's also what I meant. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
That's also what I meant. It's also what I meant. I'm taking the Vikings -6.5, whether they're playing the Bucks or the Cardinals. I'm not sure which one it is. But at the end of the day, the Vikings have an incredible offense. Everyone thinks the loss of Dalvin Cook is truly going to devastate their running game and they're going to be pass happy. They were already pass happy. And anytime Dalvin Cook was hurt, Alexander Madison, whoever the fuck that is, just filled the gap, filled his cleats up, and was able to get at least 70 to 80 yards a game. Okay? That passing attack is going to be lethal. They're going to run that division, and they are going to easily cover 6.5 against the Tampa Bay Cardinals.
Yeah, Tommy, listen, you gave Mike Tomlin 8 months or whatever to prepare. This fucker's ready. The boys are ready. George Pickens is going to moss people. Well, will he be called for offensive pass interference? I don't think so. We'll see. But yeah, I think they're going to win outright. So that's my lock of the week, boys. Sorry if I cut anybody off. But yeah, that's my lock. I'm also eating some pot roast right now, so I'm in a great mood. Vibes are immaculate over here.
I'm going to go ahead and take the Eagles -3.5 against the New England Patriots. This game's in Foxborough. The Eagles won the Super Bowl last year. The Super Bowl hangover for the team that loses is the inverse, where they spend the whole summer grinding their ass off. Can't wait to get back on the field so that they can prove everybody wrong. I love the Eagles roster. I love Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown. And I think that they're going to be hungry as hell. So I think the 3.5 is not enough for the Eagles. So I'm going to take them.
Ready for this? Right there. The Chicago Bears -2.5 against the Green Bay Packers. I'm so ready to get hurt right now. It's not even funny, because on the bright side is that I'm really looking forward to, we have some hope. Our offense looks good. Our defense, we got some big guys on defense. Got Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds. It really looks like the franchise is turning a new leaf. The accelerated rebuild, I guess you can call it, from the Ryan Pace, Matt Nagy era seems to have turned around well. It looks great on paper, but you never know. until you get there. And I know the way I'm talking right now seems like, why the hell is he saying this is his lock? Because the Bears are going to win this game by 3 points or more. And and the reason I'm ready to get hurt is because I was about to go on a little Jordan Love rant and say how terrible he is and how the Packers are over. But like I said before we started recording, when it's Green Bay versus Chicago, you never know what can happen. And Green Bay has notoriously ruined our lives year after year after year. And it went from Brett Favre passing the torch to Aaron Rodgers. So I can only pray to God that that torch isn't passed to Jordan Love and that torch has been put out with water. And that's what I'm going to bet on here, and that's what's going to happen. So you got to be confident in that. Justin Fields is him. Bears -2.5.
I love it. I do. I told Sam when I was texting him a little bit ago that my 2 lock choices were Steelers, Bears. So
Yep.
I'm playing to my friends here.
Bear
you know
down.
what I'm saying? There is more footage of Sasquatches than of Jordan Love being good at football. Show me it. I need to see it before I can gamble on it, okay? I like the Bears. Justin Fields, hopefully he watches our show. I had him, I think, 18th in my quarterback rankings. Let's see if he can prove me wrong.
Open invite to Justin Fields.
Sam, the game is at Soldier Field, right?
Yep.
Home opener, Justin Fields, DJ Moore now. Hey, they could have picked Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. They said, no, you're our guy. I like Justin Fields and the Bears to walk away with the victory. I'm not even sure who's favored, but I like them to win. Are the Bears favored? God, the Bears haven't been favored.
Yeah,
the Bears haven't been
favored
in like 5 years. This is unreal. Yeah, give me the Bears.
So week 1, Sam has obviously his fan interest in the Bears winning the game, but then he also has the Bears as his lock of the week on the show, and then he also has Justin Fields as his quarterback for the fantasy league.
I'm either going to be like a really happy man or a really deflated, broken person for week 1.
You got a couple outs there. Like I don't think there's a doubt that Justin Fields is going to have a big game. I don't know who's on the Packers. I don't know if you guys saw Jair Alexander's NFL Top 100 video, but that is the least humble man who on the planet of this earth. Every single question was like, all right, who do you watch? You model your game after? Which film do you watch for other players in the league? He's like, 23 on the Green Bay Packers. And then they asked who he put for number 1. And I'm all for this. Like, if I was on the list, I don't know if I'm putting myself as number 1 because you always want to boost your stock. But then to say, like, I'm the best player in this league when in the next room there's a guy like Derrick Henry. Like, what do you expect? Or Patrick Mahomes? Like, there's a lot of names that I pick in front of Jair Alexander. I think Justin Fields is in for a big day.
Fucking right.
Hey, listen, you know how they talk about staying true to your team, staying loyal through the good years and the bad years. I will tip my fake, just to pretend I'm wearing a ball cap here. I will tip my cap to Sam Massaro. Whether the Bears are 17-0 or 0-17, whether it's 1985 and they're the greatest team ever, or last year when it was hard to watch, this man reps the Bears like no other.
I will be there.
He is a proud fan of the Bears.
And
I hope that Justin Fields proves him right, except for when they play my Vikings twice a year. But you know what, Sam? I'm cheering for you, buddy. I'm cheering for you, partner.
I'm honored. Yet nervous.
I always respect a man like Sam. Loyalty is rare these days, man.
It is.
Having said that, I think the Bears cap out at 6 wins. Sorry. So just had to say it. I'm sorry.
Thank you all for joining us. Let's enjoy week 1 of football. We got a lot of things to learn, a lot of games to watch. So I'm excited. Everybody's excited. Let's enjoy the season and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.